Hello, I'm Dr. Garrett Boyer. Welcome to Gospel Minded, an outreach of Benedictus Psychological Services. Check out that website, benedictuspsych.com. Here at Gospel Minded, we spend a few minutes each week talking about psychology, our emotions, mental health, and well-being, and we reflect on how these topics are related to the Sunday Gospel reading each week. I have always pointed out this is not a substitute for actually getting yourself to church or participating in things like counseling, therapy, spiritual direction, coaching, mentorship, if you're doing that kind of stuff. But like we know so well and like we've seen, things of our mind and our psychology so often go beautifully together with our spirituality. If this is your first time seeing this channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Either way, I hope that you will subscribe and then like this video, and that way you'll never miss an episode of Gospel Minded. So friends, here we are, still moving along through the season of Easter, and the gospel reading today from St. John chapter 14. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm not going to read all of it, but some things definitely jumped out at me, and I want to read some of these early lines. It's the Lord saying to his disciples, "In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If there were not, would I have told you that I am going to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back again and take you to myself, so that where I am, you also may be." Oh, I love that. Just such a sweet, wonderful word of affirmation from our Lord. He goes to prepare a place for us, and he's going to take us to be with himself. I wonder if part of the reason this stood out to me so much is it reminds me of some material that I had written my dissertation on several years ago. In psychology, there is a particular theory called attachment theory, which was the work of a number of folks over the course of the years, but the people who primarily get recognized for it are a guy named John Bowlby, and then others, Mary Ainsworth and Mary Main. But essentially what attachment theory is this whole idea of what the Lord is talking about in the gospel. I go to prepare a place for you. I will come back again and take you to myself, so that where I am, you also may be. So with attachment theory, there's a famous set of experiments that took place in the late 60s, I think 1969, called the strange situation. And what the researchers would do is they would take small children, usually somewhere around the ages of 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, and they would subject them to being in a strange situation. It had several different phases, but essentially what they would do is they would have a child enter an unfamiliar playroom, and they would give the little one an opportunity to kind of explore, and the parent or primary caregiver would be there. And then throughout the course of the experiment, there would be a time when the primary caregiver would go away, and then the idea was to see how is the child going to respond. A lot of times, what you would like to see with this research is when the parent or the primary caregiver is gone, the child could become pretty upset because they're in a strange room that they've not been to, and now the person that they trust, that secure base, has gone. And so a lot of times they would see these kids get very upset, very emotional, and then when the primary caregiver, the parent, would come back in, they would observe, what does this interaction look like? Is the kid going to quickly go to the parent and look for consolation and comfort? Are they going to be like standoffish, mad, upset? And there are 4 primary ways that they used to sort of categorize which way this child would respond. So have a look at this graph here. The one that you want to see the kid have is this secure attachment. And when I read this gospel today, what I hope we're going to see in our own relationship with the Lord is a secure attachment. So here the Lord has died. He rose from the dead. And here in this gospel passage, He's saying, in my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If there were not, would I have told you that I am going to prepare a place for you? And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come back again, take you to myself, so that where I am, you also may be. I mean, does that not sound so much like this strange situation experiment? And what a strange situation it must have been for those disciples after the Lord had died and then been raised before the ascension. And now here we are today, still, my friends, we find ourselves in kind of a strange situation. We have confidence and faith in the Lord's life, death, and resurrection. We have faith in the promises that He left us. We look forward to the resurrection. And yet here we are in this strange situation. We are making our way through the desert, through the wilderness of life and the human experience, fraught with all kinds of strange stuff, hardships, toils and difficulties, labors, relationships with family members. Like, there's a lot of strange stuff that happens in life. When we see the Lord, when we one day, please God, meet Him face to face, boy, my hope and my prayer is that, first of all, He has prepared a place in the Father's house for me, but that I have got a secure attachment to the Lord, and that, on that day of resurrection, I will strive to be the first one to link arms with Him and be brought into that mansion of the Father. I will come back again and take you to myself, so that where I am, you also may be. I think it's just so relevant to this strange situation talk from psych research and psych literature. And it's interesting too, as far as I'm concerned, that already as young people, those relationships that we form early in life with our mom, our dad, our primary caregiver, people close to us, boy, those relationships kind of set us on a trajectory for a lot of relationships that we're going to have later in life. It's not going to escape my notice that those interactions we have with others with whom we are close as young people are also going to influence the way that we have our interactions with the Lord, with the Almighty. And so my hope and prayer as a parent myself, if you're watching this and you've got your own children or grandchildren, I hope that we're acting in such a way that we can be a secure base for our children, that they will be upset if we aren't present to them, that they will look to come back to us if they find themselves in trouble or if they find themselves in a strange situation. We know we're on the right track if our kids display these attitudes and behaviors consistent with the secure attachment. And if we're doing that for our little ones, for people that we care about, our family members, other people that we're close with, boy, we're going to help them have secure attachments with others in their life. And please God, a secure attachment with the Lord, who promises that He's going to prepare a place for us, wants to come back to us to save us and redeem us from this strange situation, to one day, please God, spend our eternity blissfully with Him in paradise. So, like I said last week, whenever I do these videos, I'm talking to myself as much as anybody else. And these are things that are certainly going to be on my mind this week. And hopefully you found it helpful and useful as well. And then come back next week. We'll have more stuff to think about and talk about. And between now and then, you can be sure of my prayers for you. And I hope that you'll pray for me and my family. And we'll see you next time. I'm Dr. Garrett Boyer. This is Gospel Minded. Take care.